On the northwestern part of Lake Victoria in Uganda are 84 islands that make up Kalangala district. It covers an area of 9,103 square kilometers, 5.1% of which is land and the rest is water. The waters and the land are all the communities depend on. Bogala Island is the largest, covering 29,000 hectares, and was once a lush green landscape of savannas and moist evergreen forests. Currently, over 10,000 hectares of land has been turned into oil palm farms, whose expansion continues.
Yeah, it has changed a lot. Much forest cover has been destructed because of the other developments and practices, mainly the agricultural practices that were installed in Kalangala. We find that many people, time back, where the main activity was fishing. They used it to grow some little cassava, some little potatoes, and some bananas. Now, as development came, they introduced what we call the oil palm project. This is under the management of Oil Palm Uganda Limited, that is OPUL. And this is under Bidiko, Kenya, and actually under Wilima. So it's a big project. In fact, the initial packaging of the oil palm was so good that it could leave everybody involved in the oil palm project. But eventually when it started, things changed and they are not as they were promised.
The project came with a lot of promise on the horizon, with many selling large chunks of their land for this shift in economic activity. Oil palm is now the second biggest employer for both waged and casual laborers on the island.
Oil palm growing has been partially profit. You know, oil palm growing got when I had my money. For those who did not have money completely, I'm seeing their life changing, though at a gradual process.
But this has come at a cost to the environment. As the demand for land to cultivate more palms increased, more forested areas were encroached on. In less than a decade, the landscape of this island has significantly changed.
In Kalangala, when this project came in, because there was acquisition of land for the project, the private forests, because these are owned by people, those who wanted to go into oil palm, they changed the land use from the forested area to an agricultural area. In one way or another, biodiversity has been affected.
The over-reliance on oil palm growing has also threatened food security. The area previously known for growing food crops like sweet potatoes and bananas is now relying on the produce ferried in from the mainland.
Due to revolution of oil palm, people have resorted to farming. So farming is just peaking in Kalangala. So when you look at production of food and the demand is big than the production.
The forests were cut. Of course, you cannot grow palm oil in the forest because they cannot be there together. So they had to remove the indigenous trees and they grew palm oil. But the challenges we found that the animal species which were there are no longer there, and we have got a threat like food insecurity when it comes to monkeys. When monkeys were chased in the forest, they started invading people, eating their food and coconuts. Some lorries might be on the way, others are crossing tomorrow. That's how we are. You can find the market without food because we don't have enough food here.
The land question is one that has remained unresolved to date, as it has been revealed that over 80% of the landowners who sold their land did not do so under the conditions of free, prior and informed consent.
Ziri zonna ezo zolaba wali ennyimiro za Bidiko nazona zaali nnimiro naffe tuli mayeeri ne batuleka mu kabangiriza kano koolaba. ate ffe tulina emmere gye tulya, emmere tugula ngule. Ffe tetukyalima mmere wano kubanga wonna abayindi baatwalawo, ffe tetukyalinawo mmere. Abayindi baatwalawo wano wonna. Era ffe tulina we tulima nti nno wano. Wabula tulima ku buno obutimba era bwe zibula.
Some sections of the community are unhappy, having surrendered large chunks of their land for the oil palm project, but with incomplete payments. A number of landowners, though, have stood their ground and rejected selling this much prized possession and are now rallying other colleagues to follow suit.
I think I'm happy by myself that I'm living behind the land. First of all, I'm interested in the trees. I don't think I've deprived my family of food because they have food and the trees are there. I mean, I've learned lessons from people around me, but I recognize that land is a precious asset. I won't sell my land. I'll utilize it wisely.
Land is an important asset in ensuring food security and the community's livelihoods. Preserve it for food and sustainable livelihoods that are environmentally friendly.